Now, from the Low Country's news leader, this is Live 5 News.
And good Wednesday morning. More spring-like temperatures are on tap for our hump day.
Yeah, and today's actually a special hump day because it is National Weather Person's Day.
Yes.
Although I don't think he approves of the weather person's part. He wants that Meteorologist Day.
Yes. Well, we're going to head on over to our wonderful meteorologist, Sovine, on his day.
Yeah, that means I have the day. I should have had the day off, right? I just found out about this 5 minutes ago. I should have asked the boss yesterday. Man, I missed the opportunity. It's one and done, you know, in your annual day. It's one chance and I blew it. Let's take a look outside, show you what's going on. Weather-wise this morning, we're starting out with temperatures in the 50s. A very mild morning. Average high is about 60 degrees this time of the year. Average lows are still in the 30s, and we're starting out 15 to 20 degrees above that. Have been a few showers in places like Manning, Kingstree area over to Georgetown. I think for the majority of us, we're going to stay dry again today. This rain going up and around us for now, but we are tracking a strong storm system getting energized back towards Texas. That's going to leave us on the warm side of things, which could pose a problem late in the day tomorrow in the form of some stronger storms, especially as we head into tomorrow evening and Thursday night and early Friday morning. We'll keep you updated on that. Have more on that coming up in a minute. But as far as today, should once again be mainly dry. There will be more clouds today. We'll call it mostly cloudy, but still temperatures near 70 at lunchtime, mid 70s this afternoon. We'll talk more about that thunderstorm chance coming up in a few minutes. Aisha.
Well, today in Washington, a final vote will be held in the Senate impeachment trial against President Trump.
Senate leaders struck an agreement for this vote last Friday after failing to approve witnesses and additional evidence in the trial. The president is expected to be acquitted on the 2 articles of impeachment.
Now, President Trump delivered the annual State of the Union address last night to a joint session of Congress. The speech was titled Great American Comeback.
But the tension between the president and Democrats boiled over with this rebuke from the Speaker of the House. Katherine Johnson has the latest from Capitol Hill.
The partisan divide in Washington was on full display during President Trump's State of the Union address last night.
If we hadn't reversed the failed economic policies of the previous administration, the world would not now be witnessing this great economic success.
In the House chamber where he was impeached late last year, Mr. Trump didn't shake Speaker Nancy Pelosi's hand before the speech. And at the end, she made it a point to rip it up.
It was a manifesto of mistruths.
The president never mentioned impeachment, but instead focused on highlighting his accomplishments over the past 3 years.
Al-Baghdadi is dead. Since my election, we have created 7 million new jobs.
He called on Congress to pass legislation to lower the price of prescription drugs.
Get a bill on my desk and I will sign it into law immediately.
But House Democrats chanted H.R. 3. A bill they passed that addresses drug prices, but is stalled in the Republican-controlled Senate. Democrats say the president isn't interested in solving problems.
Bullying people on Twitter doesn't fix bridges. It burns them.
President Trump also acknowledged a number of guests in attendance, including Charles McGee, one of the last surviving Tuskegee Airmen.
Our nation salutes you. Thank you, sir.
And gave the Presidential Medal of Freedom to conservative radio host Rush Limbaugh. Over in the Senate, Republicans are expected to vote to acquit Mr. Trump in the impeachment trial later today. Katherine Johnson, CBS News, Washington.
The president is expected to give another speech sometime this week after the Senate acquits him of the impeachment charges.
And Representative Joe Cunningham responded to Trump's speech by saying he's glad the issue of lowering the cost of prescription drugs and supporting working families was addressed, although Cunningham also noted that he was disappointed the president did not lay out plans for the infrastructure investment or plans to ban offshore drilling.
The latest results of the Iowa Caucus still don't show a clear Democratic winner. The latest numbers this morning show Pete Buttigieg and Senator Bernie Sanders neck and neck. Sanders trails by nearly 1.5%, but this only includes 71% of precincts reporting. Coming up later in the show, we'll have more on how this caucus chaos erupted.
Firefighters are working to figure out the cause of a fire at an apartment complex in downtown Charleston. That fire broke out yesterday late afternoon, just a few doors down from City Hall. No one was injured in the blaze, but the Red Cross says they're assisting 14 people displaced from that fire. The Charleston Fire Department rescued 2 animals from the building. They were taken to the vet. Georgetown County has voted in its new sheriff, and it appears the man currently serving as the interim will stay in the role. Carter Weaver is the unofficial winner of the special election. That seat was left vacant by Sheriff Lane Cribb, who died back in September. Now, Weaver received more than 3,500 votes. There were also more than 330 write-in votes, but the election office has not specified who those votes were for. The votes will be certified Friday morning.
Some students in Berkeley County may have to wake up earlier while others get to sleep in a little longer in the future. The school district is looking for feedback today on 4 options to change bell times in schools. After conducting a transportation study, district officials have brought in consultants to present these changes. The district says growth in the county and a shortage of bus drivers have created major delays for school buses. The hope is that by adjusting bell schedules, it will help the buses run on time. This could mean different start and dismissal times for schools.
It's imperative that we change our bus system and our scheduling to maximize efficiency, because we were really using an old system that's no longer applicable to the needs of today.
District officials held their first feedback session last night, and they'll hold another meeting tonight at Westview Middle School starting at 6:30 p.m.
Coming up, parents and students at one low-country school are looking for answers after they say a presentation done by the principal targeted minority students.
And up next, after nearly 2 years of repairs on the Wando Bridge, the end could finally be in sight.
Now, your first alert forecast from Live 5 News.
Welcome back, 440. Let's talk about with our weather. We'll start out right now with the live view here on our Wednesday morning, almost halfway through the work week, looking out upon Daniel Island, a morning where temperatures are up a little bit from yesterday. The trends continued each morning, about 5 degrees warmer than the morning before that. 57 degrees, average highs about 61, so we're already close to that. Southwest wind at 8 miles per hour. Sunrise at 7:13 this morning. We're at 59 in Mount Pleasant, 60 on Sullivan's Island, Folly Beach at 60 at Johns Island. You're waking up at 57. You can see mid to upper 50s towards the North Charleston area, back towards Latson, Somerville at 56, 55 in Moncks Corner, 56 in Kingstree. On a morning where we have a fair amount of clouds that have worked in, and we're even tracking a little bit of rain on the radar. Do not expect much rain today, but if I'm headed out the door, maybe just grab the umbrellas just in case for the next hour or two. There could be a few light showers upper Georgetown County. Also, occasionally we're getting a couple drops of rain inland. Not all of this is reaching the ground. We have some pretty dry air at the surface, but there is a slight chance of a shower through sunrise. After that, today looks mainly dry. That's going to change, though, tomorrow as a strong storm system's getting kind of developed back towards the Texas-Arkansas region out ahead of this, south of these blue lines here and east of it. That puts us in what we call the warm sector. Essentially, that's where all of the warm air is. The cold air is behind it, and it's almost a spring-like setup, which when we're talking about spring-like setups, we do have to watch when we get this warm air clashing with a cold front for the potential of some strong to severe thunderstorms. Today, that threat will be back to our west, but as we go into tomorrow, with those storms will be heading our direction. Now, most of the day is going to be dry, but here as we go into Thursday evening and overnight, that's when a line of storms will be racing through the area. It could produce some gusty winds. That looks like it would be the main threat. In fact, on the severe weather risk board, we have increased in the orange here from I-95 westward towards Augusta and Columbia. The threat of severe weather closer to the coast, we have the cooling effect of the ocean, and that has a tendency to weaken these storms as they make a run at the coast and the beaches. So that's something that we'll watch. A closer look at Future Tracker. Once again, tomorrow, most of the day, we're just going to deal with a few spotty showers. It's not until we get into Thursday evening and overnight. Here's early Friday morning, and that line of storms will be moving through. Behind that line of storms, We go from the mid to upper 70s today and tomorrow, down in the upper 50s as we go into Friday. Saturday, we're back in the 60s. And then next week, it looks like we're right back in the 70s. So we will warm back up behind the front. Today, what we'll call mostly cloudy sky, very small chance of a shower, turning breezy tomorrow, warm breeze tomorrow, cool breeze on Friday. Weekend looks great with lots of sunshine. Next week, we're back in the 70s.
Deputies in the upstate need your help finding a teenager who might be here in the Charleston area. The Greenville County Sheriff's Office is looking for 16-year-old Emily Cagle. They say she ran away from home more than a week ago. She was last seen January 27th near Simpsonville. Deputies have not said why they believe she could be in our area. If you see Emily, you're asked to contact police.
Deputies in Orangeburg County are looking for help to identify 2 suspects wanted for breaking into stores across the county. One happening early Sunday morning at a grocery store on Bleakley Street, and it was caught on security video. Deputies say they got in by breaking through a wall. Once inside, they grabbed a money order machine, nearly electrocuting themselves in the process. They also ended up leaving it behind. If you recognize these people, call Crime Stoppers. Parents and students at one Beaufort County school are voicing concerns about a school assembly they say targeted minority students. Students at Ladies Island Middle School took offense to a presentation given by the principal last week. It showed data from the state that 78% of African American students are not reading at grade level.
I felt offended actually because he told us that like most of the African Americans couldn't read on grade level.
But the principal says his intention wasn't to hurt anyone.
I was crushed to hear that I had hurt kids' feelings simply by trying to be a leader in the building, to motivate and acknowledge where we are, but also acknowledge what all we have, the great amount of work we have to get done.
The school has apologized for the concerns and says that they will continue to have data meetings in the future to improve academic performance.
Looking ahead, part of a road in Goose Creek will be closed over the weekend as crews work to repair a water main. Goose Creek city officials say Charleston Water System will be closing a lane on St. James Avenue near Thompson Boulevard. Now, this is expected to close at 7 Sunday night and reopen by 5 a.m. Monday. Sidewalk repairs will take place throughout the day on Monday, but those repairs are not expected to impact traffic. And if you use the Wando Bridge for your commute, it could soon get a little less hectic. The State Department of Transportation says work is almost finished on the bridge. You might remember back in May of 2018, an entire side of that bridge had to be closed for almost a month after a cable was found snapped inside. DOT has since been repairing and replacing those cables. One westbound lane will be closed this weekend. They say they're hoping to be done with the project by the end of next month.
We're less than a month out from the Democratic primary here in South Carolina, and Charleston County is looking for people to work polling locations. The county's Board of Elections is looking for people to work the primary on Saturday, February 29th. You'll be paid $135 in total for training and working the election. You must be a registered voter in South Carolina and be prepared to work the entire election day. Applications are now open through next week to work the primary, and you can find a link to apply under the big red box at live5news.com. Still ahead, we'll hear from an Iowa Caucus official who says it wasn't technology's fault for the delay in results.
And what officials say led up to deputies opening fire on a man in Central California.
Now, your first alert forecast from Live 5 News.
4:50 is the time right now here on our Wednesday morning. We're going to start out what we'll call mainly dry. There is a tiny little chance of a shower inland this morning. Don't be surprised if you feel 1 or 2 sprinkles. Most of the day is going to be rain-free. There are more clouds that are starting to move in. Temperature starting out in the 50s this morning, so a light jacket kind of morning. You won't need it all morning. Upper 60s at lunchtime. Mid-70s for highs this afternoon. Should be dry for that evening commute. Look at these high temperatures today. 75 in Moncks Corner, 76 Somerville, maybe around 77 in Goose Creek, North Charleston. Closer to the coast, you can see those temperatures much cooler. Mid-60s out at our beaches. Now, tonight into tomorrow, we start to watch a storm system back to our west, and that could bring some strong storms late in the day tomorrow. We'll talk more about that ahead in just a couple minutes, guys.
More tthan 24 hours after the Iowa caucuses closed, a clear winner still has not been determined.
Yeah, right now, Pete Buttigieg has a narrow lead over Senator Bernie Sanders with just 71% of precincts polling.
As Monse Ricosa reports, one caucus official says the chaos that ensued was actually due to the voting system itself.
Because I have been so degraded and humiliated and scared and disappointed and heartbroken.
An election process that should have been a discussion ended in what Barbara Kelly called chaos.
In my opinion, the caucus system is horrible. The caucuses seem to work really good with 50, 60 people, but when you have 2, 3, 4, 5, 600 people, it's a nightmare, and you just get 1 or 2 that are screaming and upset, then it's a problem.
This year, preference cards were implemented to report back more results, but that only caused more confusion.
The problem was the preference cards and people losing them, and then trying to figure out what the procedure was to do something about that, and then trying to keep on track. And then, you know, you don't have any guidance. And what did they do to help me? What did they do to support me? People were yelling and screaming and upset, and they needed to realign. I was trying to figure out the cards. People were yelling and screaming. I had to blow the whistle.
And when she tried to ask for help?
And I couldn't get anyone on the phone to back me up or support me. It just wasn't working.
Now, it has some wondering if candidates will still consider Iowa a #1 state.
For many of them, Iowa lost its opportunity to really make its mark in terms of this. The candidates really now are focused on really thinking, well, New Hampshire is going to be the defining moment for my campaign. And so there was a lot of missed opportunities for candidates here. And so for this to happen, it looks really bad.
State Democratic leaders blamed a glitch with an app used to report some of the results for that delay. In her precinct, Kelly blames the preference card specifically as the source of the issue.
3 officers in New Hampshire are recovering this morning after being stabbed while on duty. Manchester police responded to a domestic violence call yesterday. An 18-year-old refused to come out of a room. Police say when they tried to detain him, the man pulled out a hidden knife and stabbed the officers. The suspect is now in custody, charged with assaulting officers. All 3 of those officers are doing okay. Officials say a deputy in Central California shot and killed a man after the suspect attacked 3 people with a machete. Deputies responded to a house and found 2 men and a woman suffering from serious injuries. Authorities say they confronted the suspect and he charged at them with the machete. And deputies then shot and killed the man. Right now, investigators are trying to figure out what led up to the attack. All 3 of the victims were taken to the hospital.
Prosecutors are dropping charges against a California couple accused of raping women while they were unconscious. Reality TV personality Dr. Grant Robichaux and his girlfriend Teresa Riley were facing rape by use of drugs and other charges. Orange County's DA now says there's no evidence to back up the case. He says the former DA was pursuing this high-profile case to try and get reelected.
In your Consumer Watch this morning, Macy's is losing some of its magic. It's closing 125 of its department stores around the country over the next 3 years. That's nearly a fifth of its locations. And we're told most are in malls that aren't doing well. Thousands of jobs will also be cut. The company says it's all in an effort to save money.
And smaller IKEA stores might be coming to more cities around the world. The furniture store says it's experimenting with smaller showrooms that would be a better fit for downtown areas as opposed to its giant blue and yellow warehouses. IKEA is looking to open 30 of its smaller stores in places like Manhattan. It's already launched what a spokesperson says is its first small format city store in London.
The 92nd Annual Academy Award Show is coming up Sunday, and there are some serious perks, not only for the Oscar winners who get, of course, the trophy, but for all of the top nominees.
Yeah, listen to this. Forbes says the gift bag for this year's nominees is worth $215,000. That's crazy. All 24 acting and directing nominees get one, bringing that total value to more than $5 million.
So here's some of the stuff they get. A year's membership to an elite dating service, because the top Hollywood stars need that, really. Some cannabis chocolate edibles to make the night go faster. I don't know. A 12-day cruise as well.
I'll take the cruise.
Yeah. So who needs the Oscar? Just give me the bag.
Exactly.
Just what they need. More, free stuff?
Yeah.
Right.
Just
Here's a gift.
They should re-gift that. They should be required to find somebody to re-gift it. They can't afford a 12-day cruise. Let's show you what's going on with our weather. We're watching a storm system back to our west. Could bring some strong storms here late tomorrow. More details on that coming up. Abby?
Good morning. I am watching your roadways. If you are heading out in the next couple minutes, things quiet out on 26, but we'll be tracking it and keep you updated.